everybody, it's Kenzy Knoxx and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I will be painting Joni Young's How to Paint a Great Blue Heron Acrylic Step-by-Step Painting Tutorial, and so let's just jump on in. So to begin off with, let's put some white and black on our palette, and we're going to mix up a nice gray color. And the light on this canvas is going to stem from the top left side. So we're going to begin on the right corner, and this should be darker than the left side. I went in with a shade that's just a little too bright. This is the color that should be on the right. I didn't realize that she was starting on the left side and the light wasn't going to be coming from that side. So unfortunately I need to pick up a darker shade and fill this side in. I'm trying to pick up some black and just make this a darker gray. There we go. So now it's darker. So the main point is just to cover your canvas in gray. Hopefully your left side will be lighter than your right. And just do this in a quick way. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Just get that paint on that canvas. So now we're going to do our sun rays. So our sun rays are going to start over on this left top. We're just going to pull them through. Just pull them straight. They can be skinny, they can be thick, they can be whatever you'd like them to be. They blend in just so easily. It's just so nice. Well, I can't tell you how happy I am to be painting today. It's been so long since I've had my studio. Okay, so now I'm going to start and create some water lilies, and these primarily reside about 3/4 of the way down the canvas into the bottom. And we're just doing these in white and black, and they're just little U-shaped or C-shaped objects, and farther away they are from you, the smaller they are. Just keep that in mind. So your foreground water lilies are going to be larger than the background ones, and these are just in black and white, and you can pick and choose how many you'd like or where you'd like them to be. It really doesn't matter.
So now I'm switching over to my liner brush. This is a Princeton liner brush. Doesn't matter what liner brush you have. I just know that you guys are always curious about what brands of brushes.
I think you wash that brush off. Okay, so now I'm going to take my 1/4-inch angular brush, that's this one right here. She's using a liner brush. You can use a liner brush if you'd like. I just thought it'd be easier to create the grasses using this angular brush. There's no particular reason, it's just easier to draw lines for me than using a liner brush in this instance. And they come out to about halfway up the canvas on this left side, and I'm just making them with white and black, and they're bending and they're flowing in all different directions as if there's like a breeze coming through. We want to create some movement in the painting, so you can put these in or as many or as few as you'd like. It's really up to you. And then once we're done on the left side, we'll move on to the right side and create grasses on that side. Keep in mind that the heron will be in the middle and will cover up any grass that you do create, but it'll be easier if you kind of leave this area blank so that you don't get mixed up when you're creating the lines for the heron. Now the reeds and the grasses on the right side of the canvas are much longer than the right side. These actually go all the way up to the top, and I didn't realize that until a little bit of the way in. And so you'll see me gradually creating them taller and taller until they go all the way up to the top. And these again are in white and black, and you can create as many as you'd like or as few as you'd like. It's completely up to you. I would just again suggest that you stay away from the middle so that the heron can be clearly drawn and stand in its ground essentially.
So I'm just going to use this now to create a little bit of thicker looking blades of grass and reeds, and I'm also going to add some details, little details here and there, still keeping it loose and impressionistic for those lily pads, and then I'm going to add a few little water lily flowers. And kind of overlap here with thicker pieces of grass that bleed and really crisscross over.
Okay, so now she's creating some thicker ones that are coming out this way.
So that's how you do that. You want to just come in with thicker amounts of paint and layer over.
And just layer.
And I'm going to switch over to just straight white, but I'm going to go over from the top corner, the left, and I'm going to start.
I'm just going to fix some of these lily pads, just add a little bit more white to them.
To sit and dry, it's easier to cut.
Alright, so we're taking some of the white and add some smaller lines, just of white. So now that we're done with our sunrays, we're going to continue on building up our reeds and adding layers to our reeds too, so that they show up better. So I'm adding some white to my already placed reeds, adding some new reeds as well, and then adding some black shadows to the reeds as well too. Now taking some titanium white, we're going to start making some lily pad flowers, which look like pretty much little stars, I guess you could say. There's just a few of them scattered about. You can make as many or as little as you like, but they're just in white. Some white.
In two colors only at first, especially when you're working on multiple things in a painting.
Just doing little star things.
Just two colors first, and then you come in later on and add your colors. So much easier. Now you can see I'm using this.
After finalizing my water lily flowers, I felt the need to create another coat of white over my lily pads just to make them stand out just a little bit better. There's our friends, remember that. I also decided to go ahead and redo the shadow of our lily pads too, as well as the reeds on the left side of the canvas. I felt that it needed just a little something. Okay, so now we're drawing the legs of the heron, which come up straight. It's almost in the center. So we're going a little off center. Oh, and then we're doing a little black shadow. Okay, so now I'm going to start on the heron's body, and it's going to swoop down from the leg, and I got the first line, and the second line is going to come around this way too. And I'm just going to pick up a little more white paint, and then we're going to the top of the neck region. There's the neckline. And we're just going to do a little swoopy down motion with our paintbrush and connect it to the bottom, and just basically have a large oval for the body. I'm just fixing up the legs right here. But the main body is going to be painted mostly in white, and then we'll come back in with black and create shadows and feathers and whatnot. So now I'm just going around and filling in the white, and I'm connecting the rest of the body to the neckline. And these are just the main feathers on top of the bird that are white, and they're very beautiful feathers. And the underbody is going to be a little bit darker. There'll be some more blacks in there, so don't worry too much about that. So now we're going to go ahead and start on the head, which starts right above the neckline, and it's just a little hook over, and then we're going to create a beak, which is a very skinny beak. It's like a straight line, straight horizontal line, like a carrot sort of shape, but don't worry too much about the beak. We're going to come back in with a liner brush and add a little black line. But the heron's neck goes in and then out, and it's like an S shape, so it curves back down towards the legs. And just keep that in mind when you're drawing it. So it's a very like hooky type neck. Lots of shapes. So having that gray under there really helps create different shadows and shades of the birds and that mid-tone color that we don't have to create because it's already there. But we will be adding some black for contrast afterwards, but don't worry about that. So now we're going to create the underbelly feathers, which are very wispy-like. So they're feathery, wispy shapes that we're creating. We're just, I'm just sweeping out my brush very lightly just to create the feathers, the hair-like shapes. So just keep in mind that the feathers gradually start to flick out and that they're very soft and they get longer and longer as they get towards the legs. So just keep that in mind, but they are smaller and smaller towards the neck. So longer to the legs, shorter to the neck. Okay, so now I'm going to create the rest of the head and the neck, which is very skinny. So I'm just scooping the head right around to connect to the neck, which is the skinny part right there. That's the skinniest part on the heron. And now the beak, I'm just fixing it up just a little bit. Keep it very thin. It's a long, narrow beak. And now I'm just drawing in or painting in the head feathers, which are very wispy-like and very thin. So don't go overboard with your head feathers. And now I'm just drawing in or accenting certain areas of the heron, including the beak and the head. So I'm just taking some black, and the head feathers. So I'm just taking some black and I line the upper portion of the beak. I'll be going back later and doing the underside of the beak as well. And the head feathers will mostly show the black. So if you're showing white, that's fine, but you don't need to. The black will also line at the back of the head and the neck, which I'll do later on as well. So now going on in, and I'm drawing in some of the other feathered areas for the wing. So you can see I'm drawing in the wing portion of the bird, which will hook around and kind of go down towards the legs. But just follow along with me as I create these shapes, and your bird should come out pretty decent, I think. Or you can follow along with Joni Young too. I mean, her tutorial is fantastic and very helpful, I found. Very great tutorial. Grab some more black. I'm going to fill in the head part black here. And coming down the neck. It's going to be right in the center of the neck. And this little goblet area is where to fill in. Put some black here.
So I'm going to outline a few little areas here, making these feathers not straight up and down. They're going to be slightly on a bit of an angle. You can paint yours however you want, or you can follow along here.
I am now using my angular brush to create the under feathers of the bird, which are in black. And so these just come around the bottom and move up, but don't cover up all the white. But they do basically surround the bottom area of the bird. And now I'm going to take some of the black and white and work on the wing portion of the bird, which is very wispy, in fact. So don't make any harsh lines, just use a very light touch. I think that's pretty good. Now I'm going to use my zero liner brush, and I'm going to add some minor details like the head feathers. I'm just going to touch these up just a little bit and use your pinky to stabilize because it will help a little bit, or actually a lot. And now I'm just taking some white and going over some of the lines of the bird that we had previously established, but just, you know, you need layers of acrylic paint for it to really show through. I'm also working on some of the feathers down at the bottom of the bird and on the wing too. We really want those to show up. And now I'm going to take some white and I'm going to work on the chest portion of the bird, which is white, and I'm just drawing in some wispy feathers just right there.
I want to make sure I have a little reflection, a few little ripples in the water so that I have a little bit of a mirrored effect and reflection of those legs in the water.
So I'm just working the legs right
some of the
now.
grass as well if you want, but because the heron is standing, I'm going to redo my highlights and really make this stand out. Concentrate a little bit more on the shape of the beak, around the eye, where the eye is going to be. I haven't added the eye yet. And overall, just really work on getting the right shape of everything, the right amount of feathers. And once I achieve the look that I want, I'm going to make sure the painting is all dried off. And then I'm going to come in with my colors, and that's going to be the most enjoyable part of the painting for me. I really, really love adding color. So I'm just going to
I'm just adding the reflection of the legs right now.
Beak up a little bit. I think out of this whole painting, the beak was
And a little
most
black.
challenging for me. I'm not really sure why it shouldn't be that hard, but like I said, it was just giving me a little
And it
bit
just adds a little reflection.
when I was painting this, so you definitely don't need to take as long as I did with your beak.
I'm just adding a little more white to the beak. It's actually painted this. Okay, so I just painted in just this bottom little thing here. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to lose you there. Okay, and then up top, just gonna fix that real quick. Grab some more black, go underneath. Tail feather here. Also, let's see, so it is coming this way, down, this, some black in it, and this has like a little white thing over here, feather. Oh, okay, so it looks like this bird's got several feathers. Eventually go off like that. Yeah, the tail feathers now. I'm just pulling some white down. That's just gonna be over here. I'm just gonna make this a little lighter. And then making sure the top of the beak is black. And then she lines the bottom of it too. Very tricky. Just using the lightest touch, and still, remember you can always fix those smudge marks. Or not smudge marks, but if you mess up, you can always fix it very easily. There we go. So now I'm just taking some white and I'm just re-highlighting some of the features of the bird that need to be re-highlighted, as the white is semi-dull when it's dry. We really want it to be bright and stand out. Neck, that's not even white, so here, it's not even white. Continuing with the white highlights, I am now going to go into the feathers and carefully add in some wispy feathers that we had added in before. I'm just going over those again and redefining some of the other portions of the feathers that might need a little help. Black outline. See, right at the black bill part, so like right here, to be a black circle. That's white. The center of that. And in the middle of that, you're gonna have the black.
I'm even gonna add a little bit to my white. I'm gonna tint my white.
I'm gonna take some neon yellow.
I'm gonna add a little bit
Some neon yellow.
on it.
So she's adding
Some
yellow
areas
over
on the lily
here.
pads, a few areas on parts of the flowers. I'm even gonna add a little bit to my white. I'm gonna tint my white with just a touch of that yellow for some parts of the bright highlights on the bird.
Even on some of the sunlight over here. Some of that yellow. I'm gonna fix the top of this.
Beautiful phthalo green or viridian green, and it's just a blue green. So if you don't have the shade, you can actually take a beautiful phthalo green or viridian green, and it's just a blue green. So if you don't have the shade, you can actually take phthalo blue, I believe, with cool yellow like I have here, and you can get sort of the same color if you mix those two together. So I'm gonna brush over, filter over wherever I have.
Okay, so now she takes the yellow green. I water it down even still some. Going down below in the water some. I have to be careful because my paint's still a little bit wet. Already been going over some already tinted areas. Let's see. Try to fix that real quick. Maybe I'll shimmy some over here. Oh, not much I love to shimmy. Keeping that flower white, yep, going all around it.
I'm going to be a bit more generous with my green on the top right corner. I'm going to add quite a bit down here. This is a lot darker on this side, so I want to make sure that we have this deep green and going to be coming in with a little bit of phthalo blue over top as well. And I'm going to soften this. I want it to gradually get lighter and lighter towards that sun. So I'm going to switch over to another.
Okay, so we're going to try to keep it darker green at this corner. And then it'll get lighter as it gets closer to the sun.
You can also use cobalt, ultramarine. You can use cerulean blue. I really don't think any color will look bad with this painting. I think you could choose any colors you want as long as you have this source of light and the shadows and mid-tones going on. You can really take this in any color palette that you wanted. And I'm curious to see, I'd love to see your versions of this on the Facebook group. I'll leave a link below if you haven't joined already. It's a wonderful supportive group, specifically for all my tutorials, where you guys, it's a platform for you guys to show and share and chat with others about your versions and share your beautiful versions from my tutorials. And I'm so blown away by all of them. You guys are so talented. I look forward to seeing them all the time.
I'm just going to redo
And I
this.
try my best to keep up.
Very
There's so much being
well.
posted on there all the time, and I have lots of paintings that I'm working on all the time.
So continuing on. So down here is going to be the darkest shading area on the right side. Really, so just bring that green up. It's going to be dark over here.
Areas of my Heron is where I'm applying my blue. Or my color, I guess you could
coming
say.
down over here.
And if you want to really make your painting pop, for your brightest highlights where I've got the white, I'm going to tint it with just a little bit of yellow, pink, and white to make a soft peachy color. I'm going to be a bit more generous with my green on the top right corner. I'm going to add quite a bit down here. This is a lot darker on this side, so I want to make sure that we have this deep green. I'm going to be coming in with a little bit of phthalo blue over top as well. And I'm going to soften this. I want it to gradually get lighter and lighter towards that sun. So I'm going to switch over to another brush.
Water. Oh my gosh.
Get that blended in a bit better. Now, if you don't have phthalo blue, you can also use cobalt, ultramarine. You can use cerulean blue. I really don't think any color will look bad with this painting. I think you could choose any colors you want as long as you have this source of light and the shadows and mid-tones going on. You can really take this in any color palette that you wanted. And I'm curious to see, I'd love to see your versions of this on the Facebook group. I'll leave a link below if you haven't joined already. It's a wonderful supportive group, specifically for all my tutorials, where you guys, it's a platform for you guys to show and share.
And then we can do some going up too.
Chat with others about your versions, and I look forward to seeing them all the time. And I try my best to keep up. There's so much being posted on there all the time, and I have lots of paint. Now, light blue violet is a combination of titanium white and either cobalt blue or ultramarine blue. Either will work, but if you're curious to know what brand I'm using today, it's by Golden Acrylics.
Adding some more water, making sure that phthalo green is really wet.
Yeah, like a velvet suede, gorgeous matte finish, and I love that, almost like a powdery finish. And I feel like that adds to the mood of this painting. It's really, really soft. And that's what I'm going to be using in combination with little subtle hints of pink mixed in with my phthalo blue at times for some other areas. Not just phthalo blue though, but I found that if you mix phthalo blue with neon pink, or even the neon rose, again from Holbein, or you can use quinacridone violet or magenta with phthalo blue and a bit of white, you can get really close to creating that
neon yellow
violet
too.
shade.
And just make some of these little strands coming up here.
I'm going to work on my Sunrays a little bit more with a clean brush.
Easy, you can do a little white with the neon
A
yellow.
little bit of blue,
That'll help it stand out a little bit more.
so it kind of gradually flows in with those other colors. And then I'll make sure that it's bright, bright white in the very top left corner.
Yellow green. And just come on out this way.
I want to emphasize these soft and subtle sun rays down here.
Oops, I went over the bird. I'm gonna have to fix that.
Coming in from behind the heron, and they're not going to be white. I'm just adding a bit of green, and then going to just kind of stumble off that green where I accidentally went over the feathers of my hair. So
Oh, she did too.
and then maybe put a few strands of grass or some subtle looking reeds, kind of just back in the distance. I don't want them to overpower those beautiful soft sun rays that we've got going on.
Okay, now water that down just a little bit and come back over to create a bright white streak above the heron. Should I kind of want to? Okay. And I'm going to add one more streak. This way coming towards the heron.
Okay, so I've got my little round brush and I've got my neon pink ready. I've also got my light blue violet there. You can see that
neon
gorgeous
pink.
color. I'm going to take a bit of white with my neon pink, and I'm going to start colors.
Let's see, just grab some neon pink for the flowers.
Twist on Monet water lilies. I love when he used blues and purples for shadows. I think that's just really gorgeous.
Well, it looks orange. I don't know if it's supposed to.
That's why I chose to use the blue, but you could use any
Maybe
colors that you
yellow
want
one.
for your shadows. If you want to use
Red or yellow and pink.
purple or black, or just keep it gray, you can.
And some on this
And
one.
then I'm just going to do little dabs and kind of make them look a little bit softer around the edges, or a little bit of whimsy back here, and maybe a suggestion of some pretty little water lilies that go back.
I'm not really sure what water lilies look like. Maybe I should have looked it up.
So again,
But
the colors I'm using today for my water lilies, now with all those colors you can make so many different other colors, and they're all going to work really well together and create a beautiful harmony of pastels.
I'm just gonna add a little yellow to this one.
But see how elegant that blue looks with the pink and the
And a
yellow
little pink.
and the turquoise going on that we with the phthalo green of it.
Okay, brush out my brush. Alright, so now I'm gonna take some blue violet. Or cool blues. Oh, the orchid too. That's gonna go just over on the bill.
Areas of my heron is where I'm applying my blue. Or my color, I guess you could say.
Going down
And if you want
on the
to really
feathers.
make your painting pop, for your brightest highlights where I've got
Oh,
the
here.
white, I'm I'm going to tint it with just a little bit of yellow, pink, and white to make a soft peachy color.
Oh, even along the bill. He was over here. And around the heron's feet.
Now, because I'm loving this blue so much, I want to add more in the water, so I'm going to add some over the lily pads.
It looks like she even added some over here.
Again, just keeping those long, loose, oval shapes.
And the lily pads, which some have been lost. Just going to recapture those. And then some along the grass too.
Some to the base of the reeds there, just kind of making all the colors work well together in between some of the little feathers of hairs here for a little bit more contrast. So I might come in here again.
Try some of that pink.
Light over top later, but I want it
down into the feathers over this way. To the belly. Oh, and then over here we add some too. I think that's great. Adding up on some of the minor details, so like the darker feathers, black, really. Carefully outline the bird. Just down the neck and the inside of the feather. Then right around here. And then I end up here. Blue is such a beautiful color, especially with the yellow green. Come off of here, so these wispy like feathers really come out here.
So I hope you've enjoyed my YouTube tutorial, and I hope that you found it relaxing and fun and your heron came out great. And remember to like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this tutorial. And until next time, I'll see you later. Okay, bye!